Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Learn With Me live stream. My name is Ashley Goldstein. I am a technical marketing engineer here at NVIDIA for Omniverse. And on this live stream, normally I go through parts of Omniverse that I'm not very familiar with or want to explore a new workflow in. And with the help of you all in the community, I try to make that possible. And interact with you in chat and take your suggestions and questions and see what we can get done in an hour. With that, though, I have to say this is my last Learn With Me. So I have been doing this live stream, I think since like September or October of 2022. And it was just a way for me to dedicate time to learning Omniverse because there were so many parts to it. And I wanted to make sure that I captured everything that I could when talking to developers and getting to know what they were using Omniverse for or what they needed Omniverse for. Because before I was a tech marketing engineer, I was a developer advocate. And over the last few months, Omniverse has really blossomed into, I think, what Omniverse was meant to be, and that is a platform, a framework for industrial twins for making the industrial metaverse. And then we've announced all these cool things like moving over to core APIs, configurators, and everything else that comes along with it that we're going to start seeing in the future. So because of all of this like cool change, my role or my position here at NVIDIA got moved to the technical marketing team. So that's why I'm a technical marketing engineer now, which is super cool. And with that, I unfortunately am going to be closing out this Learn With Me live stream because my new role is going to ensure that you don't need me here twice a week showing different things that you can do in Omniverse, because I'm going to be more behind the scenes on creating the developer samples, examples, and templates. That's going to coincide with better documentation so that you can find everything easier, implement it easier, and have a better understanding of how to do all that stuff. And you don't need the hand-holding as much. So although it's a sad end of an era for this live stream, I think it's going to be really great to just make it easier so that you don't need me sitting in front of the screen anymore. With that said, behind me here, as Sirens has said, fancy new apartment. I totally forgot that I was doing this in a couple of streams where I was going on to the Discord channel for Omniverse and finding the Share Your Work channel and then featuring some of the work that I've seen. And I'm like, okay, what better way to close out my Learn With Me stream than to bring that back? So this is an architectural visualization in USD Composer by Liam Clarkson Holborn. Posted this back in November, and I go back to it a lot because his work is just so beautiful and so clean. The renderings and the lighting and the assets that he uses in USD Composer, it's really beautifully done, and it showcases like where Omniverse was first being used and using the reference applications where it used to be USD Create, and now it's USD Composer, using these reference applications in your own workflow, and then moving on to creating your own applications if that was something that you needed to do, using the real-time render, using all of the beautiful materials and all the beautiful assets. So I thought it was just a great encompassing of like where Omniverse started and then moving on into where we're heading with more of the developer workflows. So great work by Liam. It's so nice to sit in front of this. I wish I lived here. We'll just pretend I do for today. And I'm gonna now move into my housekeeping. So the top of every stream, I have this housekeeping document, and it's been a way for me to just keep track of all of the different links that I share with you over the live stream. So I'm not flooding and spamming the chat with a bunch of different links. And so that if you're watching this later, say you're watching this one, 7, 8 months from now, you can find exactly what I've been talking about. If you're watching on YouTube, this is a link in the description of the video. If you're watching on Twitch live, I just linked it in the chat. Unfortunately, if you're watching on X, I don't have the capabilities to interact with you through chat on X at this time. So you would just have to find it on YouTube or on Twitch. But yeah, that it is there. And I have the first page as like the essentials. So these are things that aren't going to be changing very much. It's like the OpenUSD documentation, the Omniverse developer docs. But what I do like to showcase is the community challenge, and that changes every so often. You can find that in the forum. So now that I'm not streaming very much, you can watch the Wednesday streams to be updated about this, or you can go to the forums and just check what the challenge is for this month or this season. This one is running till May 31st, and we collaborate with NVIDIA Studio to do these challenges. And this one's just OpenUSD. So you don't necessarily have to be using Omniverse in your workflow. You can just use USD in your workflow, whether that's using using USD in Adobe and Substance Painter and Designer, using USD in Blender or Maya or Houdini, wherever you're using USD, you can participate in this challenge and have a chance to be featured on the Omniverse channels and on the NVIDIA Studio channels. So just a really cool way to participate and maybe challenge or something to things you hadn't had time to do before. So there's that. Also on the Essentials page is the Omniverse community calendar. It's looking a little barren these days because of all of the changes that have happened with moving teams, but I'm sure it will get built back up. So right now you're watching mine, which is the adding dependencies to an Omniverse extension. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then after mine today is building OpenUSD-based retail digital twins. And then the Isaac Sim team is having their office hours next Wednesday, and then there'll be more different events being populated in this calendar. So if you add it to your calendar, you won't miss anything. And then the last thing on this resource document, if you scroll to the second page, is all of the links that I've talked about in my different streams. So I have them all going all the way back to when we talked about Asset Validator. And today we're going to be talking about extension dependencies. It's going to be a really simple stream. This is not hard to do. What I've been doing in my streams is, if everyone remembers Maddie had developer office hours last year, and there was so much great content in the developer office hours, but I found that a lot of that great content was lost because the stream was just developer office hours. And then inside of the hour to 2 hour live stream was all of this like just treasure trove of information. So I've been slowly pulling those out into small live streams. So we did switching render types. We've done strength ordering and message bus and custom attributes. And then today we're just going to do extension dependencies. So you can see, like, if you make an extension, you want your extension to depend on like 3 or 4 different extensions as well. When you turn on your extension, all of those extensions will also be turned on. So it just ensures that whoever's using your extension is also going to be using the other things that are needed to make your extension work. So I'll be showing that, super easy to do. So probably will not need an hour. And then if you want to read more about it, I've linked the documentation page on it. So you can find all of that here. All right, I think that is it for housekeeping. I can minimize that. And all right, let's get Omniverse up here in front and throw my face more this way, make myself super small. Do I need to be this small? Here, okay, there we go. I was working on being like the A1 streamer, Twitch streamer type of deal. I watch so many streamers and they're so like good with OBS and placing their face so they're not in the way, and I feel like I finally got it, and now I'm no longer streaming. Let's take some text away, and let's make an extension first because I don't have an extension. So I'm using USD Composer 2023.2.5 for this example. Let's remove my brand so you can see the top of it. There we go. But this is just a reference application. And when I say reference application, it means that USD Composer was built as an example of what can be built with the Kit SDK. So it has tons of extensions enabled already. It has the viewport, has all the different tools, all the different browsers at the bottom. So if you wanted to make your own Kit application, or you wanted to use like IsaacSim or Omniverse Code, any of those, they work all very similarly. It's because they're just enabling extensions. And extensions are all these little tabs you see, like you could turn these on and off. So if I didn't want the environments in my application that I make myself, then I would not include that extension in my application. It relies on dependencies in the same way that today's extensions are going to as well. But I never made my own custom application, so I am going to be using USD Composer today. Just to clear up why I say reference application all the time. How many times can I say extension today? Take an apple cider shot for every time I say extension, and you'll have the most perfect gut health by the end of this stream. I promise you. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my extensions manager, and I'm gonna click new extension template project. I have my Omniverse extensions folder that stores all the different extensions I've ever made and never deleted. And we're going to give it a project name. We'll call this one LWM for Learn With Me. Add depths. And that's just the project name. That's not the extension ID. The extension ID is how someone would find this if I was to publish this in the third-party extensions. So we'll just name it the same thing, though, just to keep it easy. But I could, like, if I had a company name, create like a cool little extension ID. I don't really care about that today. And so you see here in Omniverse, I now have this window, and it is just like a template for when you're creating an extension. So it shows you like you have a window UI, you have buttons. So if you're new to extensions, that's what that is. And then it opens up VS Code, which let's get that showing here. VS Code is our preferred IDE when working just here at NVIDIA. So it's integrated into Kit SDK. But if you have a different IDE, then you can use your own. But if you have VS Code installed, it'll automatically open. So there we go. Okay, so VS Code, here we go. Open to the Welcome tab. And it automatically opens to my folder. I go into Extensions, EXTS, and it opens up 3 different folders to get to my extension.py. I'm not going to go over this too much because there's like there's definitely a few videos out there that explain extensions, and the documentation is actually pretty good on it. So you can go through this yourself to see how it works. This is the extension UI. But we care about extension dependencies. So to get to where the dependencies are, we go into the config file. Also, please let me know if you're having trouble reading this. I cannot stream in 4K at this time, so I do my best just to make sure that my windows are as big as they can get. If you can't read it, let me know. So in my config file, I have my extension.toml. And in my toml file, I have, where are they? My dependencies. So this one. This is my dependencies here. Not this one. This is extra dependencies for testing, but you're going to use these dependencies here. And so you can see it already has one of them, which is the UI app. So in order for this extension to work, when we turn it on, it will also make sure that the UI app extension is automatically enabled as well. So let's let's do like a test. So, although I don't think I can disable the kit UI one. But if I go into my third party, okay, blah, blah, blah. I think that was my last one that I did. Here's my Learn With Me Add Depths extension I just made. It's on. So let's turn it off. Let's see if I can find that UI app extension. I don't think I can turn it off yet. See how it's grayed out? This is like something that needs to be on in order for the kit app to run. So even though it's a dependency of my extension, it's a dependency of all extensions. It's a dependency of all kit applications. So it's not something I can turn off. But let's say my extension also relies on, I don't know, maybe like action graph, just the first one that we see. Action graph bundle. So let's turn this off and let's grab the name of it and put it as a dependency in our TOML file here. Really easy to do. We'll just go down here in quotations. We need omni.graph.bundle.action. And I have tab 9 on. Tab 9 is like, do you want to complete it this way? It's like so close. If I was to tab this, it's like it's almost right. But you can see in my in Omniverse that I don't have an S at the end of actions. So tab 9, you're almost there. Let's save this. So I control S in my extension TOML file, go back into my third party, find my extension, turn it on. My window pops up, so that means my extension's on, and my action graph bundle automatically enabled. So because I made it a dependency of my extension, it forces this extension to turn on when my extension's turned on. Now, of course, it doesn't work the other way. So if I was to turn off action graph, my extension stays on. Oh, wait, I lie. It's still on. It's turned off. They're dependent of each other? No. Turn off action graph, and my extension turns off. Okay, I learned something new. Learn with me, literally. I did not know they interacted with each other. I thought if I turned off action graph that it would keep my extension on, but that's not the case. So it turns off my extension too. Interesting to know. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much it. It is super easy. You've been trying to connect Omniverse Isaac to Fast API, but you can't control it and having issues managing async link between Fast API. I am so sorry. I do not know anything about Isaac Sim. I know conveyor belts in Isaac Sim. That is a part of Omniverse that I've not interacted with very much. Isaac Sim, they actually built it for itself, so it's like not a reference application. I would recommend that you ask in the NVIDIA Omniverse Isaac Sim channel and maybe in the Isaac Sim forums, and then hopefully it can be answered during the Isaac Sim office hours. But I do not know too much about Isaac Sim, just to be so honest. I've been avoiding it. I've been trying to learn robots. Robots, they're hard. They are so hard. Any tips for working out which extension to depend on, like animation curve bundle versus animation curve core? Sometimes the extension docs are terse. Yes. Oh, man. I guess it really depends what you're doing. you would want to see like what your extension is grabbing. So if you are, say you're working with animation, you would probably just want the entire like bundle of it. Does this rely animation curve and the animation curve core, which is, I think, this one? I would just turn on the bundle to make sure that you are working with everything. So okay, let me minimize VS Code. I don't know why this cracks me up. Look, so if you go to animation curve and you click on dependencies, look at this tree. These spaghetti noodles are intense. That's why I think if you're unsure, find the one that's the bundle, so that you make sure everything you need is just turned on that has to do with that feature. It can you can spend some time going into the dependencies and being like, what does my extension use out of this bundle? Is it the curve editor and motion path? Is it just the curve editor? Is it just motion path? Like, I feel like that's a headache, and I totally get you. Our documentation on it is not very clear. So I would just turn on the bundle. I don't even know what, look at all this stuff is like schemas and toggle view. There we go. Could not overwhelm yourself with spaghetti trees and actually just see what it relies on, which is quite it turns on quite a lot. That would be my suggestion. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading your comments. You can leverage Python wheel and the package manager to extend kit beyond limitations of Omniverse. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, which is going to be so important moving forward, because kit will not just be like rely or stuck within these reference applications, but also you'll be able to integrate them into your own applications using the APIs moving forward. But that's down the line. So I wanted to make sure that we still had things to show you that are what we are working on now, and that is working in extensions. So I know a lot of you are still building extensions and tools that are working inside your kit applications, which are going to be important for a very, very, very long time. This is not something that's going away. So learning how to add dependencies to your extension TOML file is something that you need to know as a developer when creating these tools. All right. I feel like I should be talking more. Well, I've been talking for 24 minutes. I'm like, that's not enough time. What if you need specific packages which are not included in the UI app, like GeoPandas? If it's not in the Kit SDK, is that what you mean? I don't know what a GeoPanda is. If it's not included in the Kit SDK, like say you're like, oh, I need something like GeoPanda, it's not here in Kit, then that would be something you would have to build a Python tool for. That's how it would work now. You would build your own Python extension, and you would integrate that API into your Python extension. Unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to add it as a dependency. So these dependencies are like a Kit SDK extension that you need to turn on to work with yours. Like my extension is going to manage the environments tab. I'm going to extend the properties of the different environments. I'm going to add more environments. So I need my environments tab to be enabled when someone is working in my extension. So you just make sure that that environment window is included in the dependencies for your extension TOML. Also, do what Papa Chuck says, and first try to make an extension. If it's not possible because maybe something you're working with doesn't have the API leverage that you're looking for, then you make it into a package and you wrap it into the Kit SDK. So going back to the browser, open my browser here. If I can find it, I lost it. Okay, so in the Learn With Me resource document that I linked, which I'll link again, if you go to the Getting Started page, there is a lot you can review. This has been updated so much over the last few months on developing your own project, building your project, creating a test build, packaging your build, and so forth. And then you can also go into the NVIDIA Omniverse main part. How do I get back to Omniverse? I'm going to go to Google and go to the main part. And you scroll all the way down and you download the SDK. So that is something I would recommend if you're looking to build your own package. To start here and download the SDK. Okay, well, I'm going to start closing this out. I don't have too much to say, and I don't want to just blabber on for the sake of time, so that you all can go get yourself a snack and get ready for the what's after me, building the OpenUSD based retail digital twin. So you can see how someone is using OpenUSD to build an industrial digital twin, a retail digital twin. So really cool. Again, this is my last stream. I'll be working more behind the scenes on publishing samples, examples, and templates so that you no longer need me to walk you through these type of things, and it won't be buried deep into live streams, and it'll actually be easier for you to download and implement on your own. If you want to extend these conversations, if you need help with something, I am available on LinkedIn. I am still going to be on the NVIDIA Omniverse Discord. My LinkedIn is, I don't know, what is my LinkedIn? Let me find it and link it. Link my LinkedIn. I'll be honest with you, I love LinkedIn. I think it's one of the best social media platforms that I have used in a long time. I like think of it as interactive, as like and community based as MySpace was back in the day. Here, I'm gonna link my LinkedIn at the bottom. So if you want to extend these conversations, if you're gonna miss me so much that you want to have conversations with me and you want to interact with my posts or see when I'm updating templates and samples and examples, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll still be around. I'm still going to go to conferences. I'll still be on Discord. I'll join the Wednesday community streams every so often. You just won't see me twice a week as much as you did before. And I'll miss you all. This is literally all of you who have been in the chat every single week are the reason that I have been able to move into this new opportunity. So I truly thank you. This is the foundation for something that's going to be even bigger, and I'm really excited for it. And I think Omniverse is just going to really capture so many people's attention, more so than it has in the past like 6 months. OpenUSD went from being what in the world is that to now being on everyone's plate at every conference I've been to in the past year. And it's going everywhere, and it's going to be super cool. And it's really awesome that all of you are here at the very beginning of it. And I don't know, it's hard to say bye, but I'm excited for it. So thank you all for watching. I hope to see you on other social media platforms, see you in person, and just make this even cooler than it already is. So thanks for watching again. See you all somewhere. Bye.